Hello, everybody. This is Steve Rao, the host of the Radio Nyra Leaders and Legends show. And this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we couldn't think of a better person to bring than my good friend and a leader in our community, Seema Kak, who is the executive director of Kiran, an organization that's doing remarkable stuff to help the survivors and those who suffer victims of domestic violence. And they focus a lot on South Asian communities. So welcome to the studio and the show today.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Radio Nyra, for having me and giving Kiran and domestic violence a platform in this special month of DV awareness.
Now, Seema, for those listening who don't know, can you just tell us a little bit about Kiran, its mission, when you all started, and what you all do?
Sure. Kiran, which in Hindi means a ray of light, was actually founded in 1998 when out of somebody's basement, when a bunch of people in the area realized that there were a lot of DV cases coming up and people were talking to each other, trying to get help, but they really didn't know where to go. And the numbers kept increasing. And then in 2000, they decided it was time to go get the organization as a nonprofit status. So that was 2000. And then they realized they needed some funding to keep going because now the victims and survivors that were being helped also needed financial help. So in 2008, the first grant was written, and then it just continued from there, where they hired some staff, and there was a executive board that got put together. And then since that time, we've just seen the growth from 2008, where the funding actually started. And today, we're serving thousands of people.
Now, tell us a little bit about your approach. How does it work? I am suffering from domestic violence, and then I call Kiran. Can you talk a little bit about the different ways that there's so many stories I've heard? I've been to many events, but just for us listening.
So we take pride in saying that, one, we're the only agency in the entire state that provides culturally specific help to survivors and victims of DV and sexual assault. What that means is we take into sort of consideration that it's not just a Band-Aid that we're going to offer, that we're going to look at what are some of the things that is preventing that person from leaving this abusive situation. How can we empower that person so he or she, we serve men as well, how would that person be able to survive if they did come out of that situation? Not just, okay, we're taking the call and then we move on from there. We have realized that there are layers and layers of help that a victim or a survivor that is from the South Asian background needs, because there's cultural barriers, there's language barriers, there's so many other things. We have wonderful DV agencies, mainstream DV agencies in the area, but the clients that we serve have a lot more added baggage, a lot more barriers that need to be addressed, and that is what Kiran helps them through.
Yeah, and that's a great segue. My next question is that, during this Domestic Violence Awareness Month, what are some of those barriers that we need to be aware of? So if we see something that we suspect could be domestic violence, can you give us anything to think about there?
Sure. So many times we're asked this question, that why is there a need for a culturally specific organization like Kiran? And the reason for that is, the people we serve people from 9 countries, and we pick those 9 is because there's overlap of culture and language and ethnic background. These people are all immigrants who've come here, probably ever left their house for the first time, and they find themselves not just away from their families and their roots, but also in an abusive situation, whether, it can be any type of abuse. And they feel alone. They feel that they don't even know the law. They don't know what is right or wrong. They don't know how to, many times, the language barrier. If a police is called to this, to a DV situation, it's hard for the victim to even talk, and there's a lot of confusion about what happened. And many times our clients end up getting into trouble because they're not able to explain the situation or what was going on. Immigration, a huge issue, because again, they're all immigrants, and the abuser often uses that as tool to, suppress them or scare them and say, if you report anything, we'll all be deported, our children will be taken away. No family support. Many people have absolutely no one. Their phones are taken away. They cannot communicate with anyone. There's financial dependency, because if they don't have an EAD and they're not working, they're dependent on food, lodging, everything. And then the idea of getting separated from their children. So there's a lot of those things that are all added barriers to the clients we serve compared to a normal mainstream DV victim.
Are there any misconceptions about domestic violence? I mean, it doesn't have to be just physical, right? I mean, there could be other triggers that we see: fear, mental abuse.
Yeah. So, I mean, in any situation, whether it's a South Asian victim or anyone, DV does not, it's not dependent on what your social status, your economic status, financial status. We serve people who are engineers, doctors, professors, so education, financial strengths, family backgrounds, none of that plays a role. It's really that there's an issue, whether it's mental health, whether it's controlling, whether it's the upbringing, whatever is going on with the abuser is what is being, practiced at home. And many times it's also what they've grown up with, what seems to be the norm in whatever society they grew up with, and they think that it's okay to keep doing that. And not just that, the victims themselves, many times they don't report anything because they may have seen that a casual slap or a kick or just degrading somebody's personality or telling somebody they're useless is just the norm. So people don't know what the law is. People don't know that this is not normal, that it's unlawful to beat up a person, or a lot of things that happen. So that, yes, bringing that awareness, because many people don't even know what is right or wrong.
We have a few more minutes left, but my next question is, what role can elected officials and community leaders, including people like me, who we work together, play in raising awareness, and also law enforcement as well?
That's a very good question. We live in an area which, we're all aware that the South Asian population is very prominent, but as the population grows, there's also issues. And people like you and people like our mayors and councilwomen and councilmen are very actively involved with Kiran. They're very, we're lucky to be in an area where we do see a lot of participation from lawmakers and all the town officials. They are seen as, people of power, people of knowledge. So our communities are very intertwined with them. So you all have that power, whether you're attending a walk, whether you're coming to our bazaar, our tabling events, wherever, we see you everywhere, Steve. And like I said, the mayors and councilwomen and everyone, the community sees your involvement as being part of, or supporting Kiran and our mission. So it's very important for our elected officials and the law enforcement to acknowledge that we exist and what we do. And if you're in a situation where people are asking, also to tell them this is a disease, this is unlawful, and you condemn this and you support Kiran and anyone else who's dealing with DV. I think your voices will be heard.
And you've answered already, but for those listening, how can we volunteer? How can we donate? Can you just give us some information about that?
Sure. We have a 24/7 crisis line, which is completely manned by our volunteers who speak about 30 different languages, which, just in India, there are so many languages. So we're very proud. They go through a small training. Confidentiality is a big thing that we, hone on, that this is very important that everything stays confidential. So people can, volunteer at tabling events. Also, if you're working, like whether it's any of the IT companies around here or a bank or pharma, if your company is having any event where we can table, it gives us an opportunity to be seen, and we're there with our information, very, very kind of non-invasive, like we just put our flyers out there, and if even one person picks up that flyer or they have a friend, they can connect those fundraisers, whether it's a Diwali event happening at Cisco or IBM or anywhere, and you just bring that up that we can donate. Very easy ways. If you go to our website, www.kiraninc.org, you'll see how to donate on there. We have made it very easy. There's PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, everything, or your company match, whatever works.
Oh, this has been fantastic. I think you gave us a great closing message. I know there's probably so many stories that we could share, but we're probably not going to have the time. But I think the stories are really that this has changed people's lives, that they literally, through your organization, can now go on to live productive lives and still have the support they need.
Is it like, I'll make it very brief, if it's okay to share a very
quick
story that I want to bring it, highlight that one, because we're currently serving a father of 4 who, it was very hard for him to come forward and say, I am the one who's being abused. And the judges in the court and the law was on his side, and he has his children now. But again, he needs so much support to even come forward and say, I need this help, I'm being abused. So, if you have a friend, whether it's a male, female, encourage them to reach out to us, because many people, when they come to us, say, I wish I knew about Kiran earlier. So spreading the word is like the most important thing. And then for our survivors, we say, it's not something that you need to be ashamed of. It's, if you've taken the step, you've reached out, we're here to help. We hope that one day DV will be completely eradicated and we don't need to exist. But till then, Kiran is here. Reach out to us.
Well, we want to thank you so much. And my final 30-second closeout take is that we are celebrating Diwali this month, and Kiran means a ray of light. But we often forget that the most important light is the light that we leave behind. And we want to thank you for giving those people who suffer from domestic violence a light of hope that they can begin, and our community can make such a difference. So we thank you and your board and your leaders for everything that you do to giving us leaving your life behind, which is something our community can learn from. Thank you for listening to The Leader Show, and please shoot me a note if you'd like to come on. Happy Diwali to everyone, and please, let's be aware of Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Radio Nyra. So glad to be here.